Church, let's run down this math. We got 2 wives that don't want to move into the shared space, 1 wife that wants to be married so bad that she keeps making all the concessions in the relationship, and 2 others that are somewhere in the middle. Baby, in the eternal words of Rihanna, SOS, please, someone help me. I got my notes, I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. Alright, y'all, so to my returning church members, baby, welcomes, and to all my new people, please make sure to smash that subscribe button and to also click that bell notification so you are notified every time I decide to upload a video. Now, baby, my outfit today is giving drama because that's what these couples was giving the whole damn episode, alright? Now, let's get on into it. We gonna start our story today with Nicole and Chris, right? And let's talk about this doggy aftermath. Listen, I've said this before in relation to Nicole and Chris, but Nicole, you are a better woman than all of us, okay? Because when that man brought them dogs into that apartment, I was just like, my spirit couldn't take it, okay? Those dogs for me are the living, breathing representation of my husband and his selfish ass, okay? Like, I don't know how you kept it together, and baby, you must be an angel on earth to truly be able to create a compromise where you were the only one that compromised and truly move on, right? So listen, good job and kudos to Nicole for actually being a person who stands by their word, moves past it, and does not hold grudges, at least as far as we can see so far, right? Now, moving on. Let's talk about this lease compromise, right? Because as I said in the intro, it just seems like Nicole is the one that keeps making these concessions, right? So Chris sits her down and says, let's have an actual, relationship conversation. Unfortunately, our leases pretty much end at the same time and we have to make a decision as to, what our living situation is going to be post-experiment or post-process. And so he's basically like, I don't think we should jump into a shared space right off the jump. I think we should renew our leases for 9 months, okay? Now let's pause our story there. Why 9 months, okay? 9 months is such a specific amount of time. Maybe that's the least amount that they could renew it underneath the lease. But my spirit is telling me that it just seems like he doesn't really want to jump into something full force with her, okay? And that's why you could see the damn shock and awe on that lady's face when he was basically talking about how, after the experiment, we gonna live apart so we could find a damn apartment or a damn place together. It does not take 9 months to find a shared space. Listen, quiet as it's kept, okay? The best solution is for y'all to actually go month to month on your lease. Now, hear me out, church, before y'all start throwing tomatoes. I know as a former person who was all up in an apartment that, if you go month to month on any lease, you're going to end up spending more money, okay? It's usually more expensive to have the freedom to go month to month because the burden is more on the apartment complex to find somebody, within 30 days versus if it's like a 9-month period. So you're going to pay a premium for that, right? But honestly, I think the pressure of having to shell out extra money for your individual rents on a month-to-month basis will galvanize y'all to make a decision about your living arrangement sooner rather than later, okay? If you can drag something out for 9 months, you can basically put it on the back burner. So it just seemed like a situation where he wasn't willing to go as far as she was willing to go, and yet another concession. And y'all know my damn saying, okay? 1 time is a fluke, twice is a pattern, and by 5 it's a lifestyle. So let's count it down. You compromised on the dogs. Well, hell, it's not even a compromise. You made a damn concession on the dogs, okay? You made a concession about the whole 9-month lease extension on the apartment. 1 time is a fluke, twice is a pattern, okay? I'm not saying you can't go along to get along, but in your own words, in your confessional, you said you were literally going along to get along, right? So listen, I'm not saying you can't want to compromise and do what's best for your marriage. Just don't lose yourself in the process, right? Because I'm still thinking, baby, that we haven't seen the real Nicole show up yet. They tried to try her life, okay, when they had that damn security footage of her going, off about the damn wedding photo and why would you pick this and stuff like that. Listen, it seemed to me like it backfired, because all it seemed to me was that mama had a couple glasses of Moscato and decided to feel free in terms of being in her own space and wanted to, give some personality to the camera. So I don't know if that was representative of her actual personality, but listen, I think we're going to have a scenario where the real Nicole shows up and the real Nicole starts, not wanting to always be the one who makes the damn concessions, right? So as I said in the last episode, baby, everything is cool until it's not. Now let's move forward to Domynique and Mackinley, and let's talk about Mackinley's low energy at the apartment tour for Domynique. Now listen, I understand where Mackinley was coming from, okay? If you think about it on an interpersonal basis, okay? You basically ripped this man to shreds in terms of his living environment not reflecting who he is, what he's about, and it basically being his portable living situation, right? And when you do that to somebody and then right after you're going to have to put on the fakeness and get into it in terms of, oh my God, look at your artwork. Look at, what you put up. Oh my God, is this wallpaper? Like nobody would have those emotions right after someone basically disrespected their life, okay? So listen, I understand where Mackinley was coming from, and quiet as it's kept, he probably did better than I would in the damn situation, because I probably would have, well listen, this is why I'm not married at first sight, because I'm not mature enough for this damn process, but I'd have sat my ass at the damn bar, at the damn kitchen, and let her gather her stuff while I talked to the producers and did my damn confessionals talking about her, okay? But listen, I am not mature enough for married at first sight, so this is not about me, okay? Now listen, he gave her just enough, honey, just enough for the city, okay? He wasn't, totally enthralled, but he wasn't totally put off. But listen, energy can be felt no matter what the situation, okay? And clearly that man was feeling a certain way about you disrespecting his life and his mind, and he did not want to, give you what you needed in terms of your space and being excited about exploring, the place that's representative of you if you couldn't do the same thing for him. So fair exchange ain't no damn robbery. Now let's move on to this whole notion of Domynique not wanting to move into the apartment. So after they had this whole blow up and she's feeling a certain way about his energy, she brings her stuff to the shared apartment. They both bring their stuff to the shared apartment, and then she basically says she doesn't want to move in. Now this is where I have a problem, okay? Because this whole notion of not wanting to move in, it is selfish, okay? If you signed up for the process, well, let me take that back. If your mama signed you up for the process and you with it, okay, then you might as well see it through in the manner to which you're supposed to see it through, okay? And getting married at the damn altar in terms of not knowing your spouse, moving into a shared apartment and trying to do life for 8 weeks and figuring out whether or not you could stay together or get a damn divorce, that goes along with it, okay? And when you want to go to your own house and kind of, do an a la carte situation in terms of the marriage, it doesn't work out, because you have one foot in your old life and one foot in your new life, okay? And can't nobody go forward in a fruitful way with one foot in either life, okay? So it's selfish, it's petty, and it does speak to her age in the process, just in terms of her not being, mentally ready for this kind of situation. And that brings me into my next point in terms of what I asked for versus what I got. Now, before I get into that, I do want to say, though, that I do feel like Domynique is a kindred spirit to me, okay? Like, I'm not about tearing people down, right? If I tear you down, I'm going to extend a hand to pull you back up, okay? And Domynique, to me, she really just gives too young for this process, okay? She gives, her mama signed her up for it. She's not completely ready for it. And it really... I really identify with Domynique because in my 20s, in terms of that's where she is right now, I believe she's in her 20s, her mid-20s, maybe 25, 26. I wouldn't put up with this situation either, okay? In my mid-20s, baby, listen, I was young, juicy. I still am. I was young, juicy, fast, footloose, and free, okay? I did not have time to suffer these men, to dwell on anybody very long. And if you weren't my exact archetype as to what I wanted at that particular moment, baby, I was ghost, okay? So I understand where she's coming from, but that mindset doesn't serve you in this situation, okay? So while I understand where she's coming from, I question whether she's truly ready for it, because you have, even if you don't want to do the whole damn shared apartment, if you didn't sign yourself up for it, but you're with it and you're going through it, you might as well do everything. You want to leave this process saying, I did absolutely everything that I could do within my power to make this a fruitful, expenditure of time. All right. Now let's move on to what I asked for versus what I got. Now, they sit down with Pastor Cal and, listen, to me, the experts seem to have like a 50% success rate, okay? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe in the earlier seasons it was a bit higher, but lately, in terms of the last few seasons, it really seems like a 50% type crapshoot situation, okay? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just speaking facts as I see them as a viewer of the show, okay? Now listen. Usually we are all ready as a church, as a congregation, to come for the experts in terms of y'all didn't match the people appropriately. Y'all could have done more legwork. This wasn't a good match from the get-go. Listen, in this scenario, I'm actually on the expert side. When Pastor Cal broke down what each of them wanted and what each of them got, I can't be mad at the experts when they literally gave you exactly what you asked for. And listen, it speaks more to the damn contestants in terms of Domynique and Mackinley that what you asked for is not exactly what you wanted, okay? So that to me speaks more to you being honest with your damn self in terms of what you truly wanted in a partner versus what sounded good on paper, what sounded good to the damn experiment, and what sounded good at the point in time when you were dealing with the producers and the experts. And that's all I got to say on that damn situation. Now let's move on to Gina and Clint. Let's talk about Gina basically holding grudges. Now listen, it is clear and evident to me that Gina is not over this whole slender athletic comment, okay? It just seems like when they sat down with Pastor Cal and it was brought up again, she said something to the camera. I don't know if it was conscious or if it was just a slip of the tongue, but she basically said, we could debate this or we could talk about this all day, okay? When you are not over something truly, it just seems like she forgave him just for the appearance of forgiveness, but she truly hasn't moved on from it. And because of that, there's really no progress that can be made if you're not willing to be in a place to actually move forward in a constructive way. Okay, so let's say that. Now, further off from that whole situation, though she kind of gave like a vanity apology in terms of when they were, before or I think actually going back last week, I think I said that I didn't really see where she apologized to him. Maybe it was off camera. They seem to have gotten past it in a very vanity-based way, right? From Gina's side and from Clint's side, right? On the Clint side, I really thought that man was due an apology in that moment in terms of the gender thing. And I'm glad he stuck up for himself and basically said, that was offensive to me, right? And then the thing about it is, if someone is telling you that something bothers them, you should probably address it in that moment. And Gina was just so flippant about it, and it really pissed me off. She was basically like, well, we discuss this all the time in the salon, and we use this, vernacular in the salon. So, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Baby, that's not the damn point, okay? If the man apologized to you for the slender athletic comment, and that is used in pretty much all forms of life in terms of explaining people's body types and how they're proportioned, right? Then in the same vein, you need to basically have a concession in terms of maybe salon talk, maybe barbershop talk, maybe kitchen table talk ain't appropriate for somebody that you're trying to do life with and not offend, okay? So fair exchange ain't no robbery. If you're gonna be mad about the slender athletic comment, then he can be mad about the whole ginger thing, and you shouldn't just brush it off. But clearly, that lady is not over that comment, and that's running everything that follows that whole situation, right? Now let's move on to Gina decides that she's not going to move into the apartment. She says there's no attraction, there's no real intimacy right now, and she would rather basically, moving into the apartment would make it worse in terms of being confronted with him every day in terms of it not working out. She wants to kind of go to neutral ground so she could basically figure out her feelings and try to give this situation a chance, right? Once again, and just like with Domynique, okay? You cannot have your cake and eat it too, okay? You cannot have 1 foot in your old life and 1 foot in your new life. It does not make sense. You signed up for the process. Clint is committed to the process. You should be committed to the process too. Even if you think it would make things worse, don't sleep in the bed with the man, okay? If it's a 2-bedroom apartment, he's on one side of the damn apartment and you on the other damn side, okay? Y'all meet in the middle when you have to do common area stuff like, kitchen, living room, blah, blah, blah. But at least that would get you in the method of seeing this person every day, having to compromise with this person every day, having to learn to live with this person every day, and learning to work through issues with this person every day. And I really feel like having one foot in your old life and one foot in your new life does you more harm than good, okay? Either way it's sliced, it's bad, but you being at home is worse than you being in the damn apartment with him. So hell, I questioned last time whether or not Gina was truly ready for this process, because it seems like she was married to her business. She seems to be married to her business and also married to her damn sensibilities and not being able to get out of her own head, feel somebody else's emotions, have the emotional intelligence to realize how this affects Clint and how this would make him feel in terms of a wife and a partner that doesn't want to be in the same situation as him. And it just pisses me off, right? Because listen, if you're going to sign up for the process, do the damn work, okay? And it just seems like these people want, and I'm not saying all the couples, Gina and Domynique in particular, you want one foot in one life and one foot in the new life, and you want to have your cake and eat it too. And that's not what Married at First Sight is about. It's literally about stepping out of your comfort zone, doing things that you normally wouldn't do, and trying to see if it works out in a more fruitful way. Hell, if it don't work out after the 8 weeks, girl, go on back to your old life and the way that you used to do things, but at least give the process a try. Now, let me get off my damn soapbox because I didn't spend too much time on them. And let's move on to Jasmine and Airris. And let's talk about Airris telling his truth. Now, as y'all know, I have basically given Airris a bit of hell about telling everybody else the pieces of the story that should basically be reserved for his wife. And I think today, in terms of them sitting down with Pastor Cal, it was just very enlightening for the man to tell his truth, right? And I think Airris telling his truth in that scenario was indicative of someone being able to get their point across without being harmful and hurtful to the other person. It was very factual based. It was very complimentary, even when it was leaning more towards, this is not my type. This is not what I'm used to. I feel like he phrased it in a very good way. And you could see that even in him talking about her, there is a level of care there, because someone you don't care about, you wouldn't talk about that complimentary, right? Now let's talk about this whole scenario, right? In terms of Jasmine and Jasmine and Airris, just because you're in a situation with someone who is beautiful, as you say, has a great body, as you say, you find her attractive, but you're missing one element of what you're used to in terms of the normal body archetype, right? Is that a deal breaker? In the eternal words of Bev, Biv, and DeVoe, baby, okay? Are you going to give up all of the great qualities that you named about this lady for a damn big butt and a smile, okay? And I think that's really what it boils down to at the end of the day. You said you love her character. You love her work ethic. You love how close she is with her family, okay? And those are internal qualities. Hell, you said that if you was on your deathbed and you had children with this lady, you'd be able to go on to glory easier knowing that everybody was going to be taken care of because she got them, okay? And there's value in that. Sometimes people get with these damn model chicks, these video chicks, these 36, 26, 36 chicks, and nobody is downing them, okay? But the large majority of them are very vapid in terms of internal qualities, in terms of mindset, in terms of vernacular, in terms of drive, okay? So you really have to decide what it is that you truly want, okay? Do you want somebody that has all of the internal qualities? They are beautiful, okay? They may not be your exact type in terms of the body, but they have something that you can work with. Are you willing to work with somebody that has so much potential, or would you rather go with what you've always known, okay? And that's only a decision that Airris can make, okay? And to be very clear, there is no right and there is no wrong answer, okay? When it comes to relationships, love, marriage, and stuff, you make all of the rules, okay? You make your own rules. You dictate your own situation, okay? And you get to pick what's in your life and what's not in your life. But the Married at First Sight experience, it's supposed to kind of give you the encounters to stuff that you're not normally used to and make you question in terms of your ideal archetypes, what's actually important and what's actually not important, right? Things that you can get past, get rid of, and get over, okay? So good luck to Jasmine and Airris. I think that them both telling their truth in the moment, we already knew that Jasmine was, semi in love with this man. I'm not going to say that she's in love, but she's definitely heading towards it. But she already said that she basically falls in love easier, right? And her fear is that she's going to fall in love and he's not going to feel the same way, right? So I think it really comes down to Airris. You have to find out if the big butt and a smile is overpowering, all the stuff that this lady comes with. And let's be very clear, okay? Jasmine was a catch for me when y'all decided to drop down in my comments and tell me how much them damn golden doodles was going for. Baby, when I had to Google that thing and it said it was up to $5,000 per dog, I said, let me tell y'all something. 9 dogs times $5,000 per dog is $45,000 running around her damn house. Listen, Airris, you better, in the eternal words of Beyonce, get in formation. Okay, babe, you got thousands of dollars running around this lady house and you hemming and hawing over a big butt and a smile, okay? I don't advocate people doing plastic surgery for other people, but listen, it ain't hard to get a BBL, honey. Head on down to Instagram and see all them girls with the damn BBLs. Just go to a good doctor. Let me move on before I say things that just disrespect my entire sensibilities on this damn channel and have y'all looking at me sideways. Moving on to Kirsten and Shaquille. Now let's take a moment to talk about Kirsten's apartment, y'all. Y'all, I am literally Shaquille in the situation, okay? Because Kirsten's apartment, it gives one or two things, okay? It either gives minimalism on purpose or it gives your budget wasn't quite budgeting when you moved in, okay? It's really giving tease of I had just enough money for the city. No, just enough money for first, last, and security. And I had to move in with all the stuff I already had. And I had time to, to believe in Jesus and basically put things on my credit card for this decoration budget, okay? It's given my budget wasn't budgeting, okay? And listen, you don't have to have money to have, good decorating style, okay? There are so many bohemian type apartments set up where, people got the good sense to have plants and, rugs and little scarves on the wall posted up, baby, some incense and some aromatherapy burning, like some candles and some pictures. Like you can do a lot with a little if your ass is creative, okay? And the fact that it was literally minimalism, but literally like the lady ain't had no bar stool, she ain't had no damn bedroom furniture, there were no pictures nowhere except this little small keychain she had by the damn fridge. It was given very first, last, and security deposit was stressing your budget out, okay? And I don't know if that's the case, but that's what it was giving. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if y'all agree. Now let's talk about, in terms of them sitting down with Pastor Cal, is romance and intimacy not there, or is it just not how you're used to it? Y'all, I had to kind of put my thoughts in terms of the Kirsten and Shaquille situation to the side because y'all already know my bias. I do not believe in the Kirsten and Shaquille match. I think y'all would be better off, trying to just be friends during this 8 weeks. And if something else should pop off, great. If it doesn't, then you knew your intentions and you knew your mindset going in, right? But I had to put myself out of the situation and put my bias out of the situation and ask myself this question, right? In the eternal words of somebody wise on the damn internet, if a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Absolutely, okay? So just because romance and intimacy doesn't look like how you've always seen it, does it mean that it's not there? Absolutely not, right? And so when Shaquille was talking about, actually, no, let's go to Kirsten first. When he asked her, is there romance and intimacy? She said, unequivocally, she said, no, okay, it's not there. And Shaquille was basically like, I think it's there for me, We cuddle, she lays on my chest at night, I kiss her on the forehead, we hold hands. Like, just because it doesn't look like how you've always had it, doesn't mean that it's not there, okay? And I think it's there, But I just think that they have to decide whether or not, well, hell, it's really Kirsten that has to decide whether or not it's worth it to let down her walls and let this man in, right? And make it something that it could be versus something that she's holding at arm's distance, right? So I thought that was an interesting conversation to just put myself out of the situation and really ask myself, just because something doesn't look like how you've always seen it, does it mean that it's not there? Now listen, I am not going to be fake. I still don't see it for Kirsten and Shaquille. But, this episode of them sitting down with Pastor Cal, it actually made me say, could this actually work out if she could get over her ideal archetype, let her walls down, and let this man in, okay? So we'll see. There seems to be feelings there in a romantic intimacy type way, though they may be lower than what they're both used to. Can they build on it in the 8 weeks? I don't know. I really feel like the burden is in Kirsten's spirit and backyard. If she wants to make it work, I think Shaquille would be more than happy to make it work, but it really begins and ends with her. And y'all, I think that's really all I wanted to talk about on this episode. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, bring on the next episode, because baby, I got questions. Where is Dr. Pepper? Are Dom and Mackinley headed for an early divorce? And listen, it looks like Airris's hating ass cousin is fitting a cha-cha through our damn screens and darken our lives. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.